I am so tired of the constant fear-mongering around pregnancy. And as a woman in her years, of which I hope and pray that I will become pregnant, the ever-present attack on motherhood is an ever-present problem online. And I think, frankly, too, because I'm now in this season of life where I'm more interested in this conversation, I'm seeing it more online, and it's angering me more than it has before. But what spurred me to talk about this today was a response I saw on X to this video from Naomi Osaka after she lost her third round match at Wimbledon. So first, I just want to show you the video. And this is a post-game interview after she has lost. Big deal. She's really sad. She doesn't want to talk to the cameras, and this is what she says.
I'm just going to be a negative human being today. I'm so sorry. I have nothing positive to say about myself, which is something I'm working on.
I do believe she's also talked in the past about mental health struggles and things like that. So also that's just some context to have here.
I mean, it was my daughter's birthday, so I was happy about that this week. But other than that, it's just today I'm just constantly replaying the match.
So that was all. That was the video. She's upset that she lost. The only positive in her week was the fact that her daughter had a birthday that she celebrated that she was happy about. But other than that, she's sad. That's all. That was the video. And then this response to it had 16 million impressions on X. We're literally seeing in real time the consequences of young women with bright futures putting family building over their goals and the regret that comes with it. And the creator went on and said, "This is the harsh reality and the quiet part we're not saying out loud, which is why we need to teach girls to be more selfish with their desires and not feed into the illusion of balance. Your life changes when you partner with someone not as ambitious as you and have their baby." I want to unpack certain parts of that tweet, especially that first part about just the regret that comes with it. I mean, what a tweet. And not only that, but then to say we need to teach young girls to be more selfish with their desires. Because selfishness always gets us to better play. What?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, selfishness is never the answer to make you happier. Since when is that a thing? Also, but that's another aside. She had her daughter back in 2023, and she has since won matches after having a daughter, so it did not stop her life. It did not stop her success in her career. And you know what is the one prize, the one trophy that keeps sparkling long after her shine in the sport of tennis wears off? Her young daughter. The gift that keeps on giving. The gift that will fill her cup long after the court no longer can, which it won't be able to do forever. And also just think about how the X user was saying that, bright futures are just squashed when these women have babies, and the fact that she's no longer able to perform, even though she won the prior two matches even of that week. So it was just the third match in which she lost that she was interviewed there, but she did win. She's still very successful in her sport and very good at her craft. And I was doing some more research into her performance as a whole, just to see, has she won after the match, which again, she'd won multiple matches prior to the one that she lost. But an article earlier in that same week said this: Naomi Osaka celebrates a huge win at Wimbledon on her daughter Shay's second birthday. It was celebrated early in the week. It was seen as, oh, look how cute. She's in her comeback era. She's winning. And in that article, that was more of a positive swing on motherhood. It said, during the match, she said she had her daughter's birthday on her mind. I was really trying to be focused. I was hoping to be back by 7:45 p.m. So I don't really know why I'm doing these long answers to you guys' questions, she quipped. I woke up on the morning of the match and kind of laid in bed with her, and I felt really grateful to be living the life that I'm living because I get to travel with her. It really is a blessing for me. So nothing hating motherhood there. And nothing hating motherhood at all with even what she was saying. It's how the internet took certain things that she said and just made it about motherhood. But that's not at all what she's saying. Just take a moment to look into her life a little bit more, and she calls it a blessing. Does that sound like a bitter mother who now has to deal with the consequences of having a young daughter to raise? I even went deeper into this woman's life and her social media presence because I wanted to find that apparent regret that so many women online just inherently believe that she now holds. And instead, just literally a couple days ago, I saw this post from her. Expectations. Recently, I had a talk with my dad. It wasn't a short talk, but during that conversation, he said something that really stuck with me. He told me how at 59 years old, he feels closer to the end of his life than the beginning, and it's made him want to enjoy and treasure the years he has left. He told me he finds this interesting because he thinks my tennis career is potentially similar. When we first had this conversation, I stared at him blankly. I didn't really understand what he was trying to say to me, and truthfully, the topic made me panic. After a couple of days, a realization suddenly hit me. I've been playing tennis since I was 3, playing professionally since I was 14, and I'm 27 now. I've spent almost my entire life playing this sport, and I guess it's true. I am closer to the end than the beginning. When I was younger, my dream was to hold US Open trophy. Winning it seemed like a fairy tale, so I just wanted that chance to hold it and look inside because my mom had told me a story about there being fairy dust at the bottom of the trophy. Miraculously, I have 2 of those trophies now. That means I doubled my wildest dreams, and yet somehow I let my expectations of myself and the expectations of others prevent me from enjoying the rest of my journey, no matter how long or short it may be. Writing this to make a promise with myself to enjoy the times and be at peace traveling and seeing my daughter reap the fruits of my labor. There's no sound of a bitter mother. Also, that girl's dad just sounds like an incredible father and a really good, real man. And if he's a real man, he should be shaving with Jeremy's razors. Jeremy's razors is the politically incorrect razor for men. Equipped with 5 barber-grade blades and a moisturizing aloe strip, Jeremy's razors are sharp enough to cut through all of the beastly scruff that men and women may have. Hundreds of thousands of men and women agree Jeremy's razors delivers barber-grade blades right in the palm of your hand. While other razors snap and treat you like crap and basically they just feel like garbage, Jeremy's razors offers a world-class shave. If you want to try Jeremy's razors today, you can try them for only $7.99 and they will ship right to your door. So if you're a man or woman with integrity, head to jeremy'srazors.com/legend and subscribe today. That's jeremy'srazors.com/legend. Be a man. Honestly, be a manly man like this father. There's a lot to learn from this dad. He did an excellent job, but I love what she was saying here. There's sound and echoes of a sad athlete mourning the days to come in which she will not be able to compete at that level. But it has nothing to do with motherhood. If anything, now the motherhood element of her life gets to shine even brighter. She gets to pass along the love and the fruits of her labor to her offspring. That's the trophy that won't get dusty on the shelf. I mean, it's so beautiful, and yet the internet and social media and other women try to vilify that. Like that tweet that I read you guys earlier, or heck, this other video that I was just tagged in 2 days ago and said, you need to watch this. This is another guy talking about women and pregnancy and how it's literally the worst thing ever.
Whatever you're going through, as long as you're not pregnant, you'll be fine. All right, you lost your job, sucks, but you're not pregnant. You can cry in bed for 3 days without growing a person inside you. That's a win. Overdraft fee, traffic ticket, existential crisis, you're fine. Because you're not about to be legally, emotionally, and biologically responsible for a tiny human, right? Pregnancy is the one plot twist that turns every other problem into a subplot, right? You could be broke, unemployed, living in your mom's basement, eating cereal with water. But if you're not pregnant, you still have options. You can get your life together next week or not, whatever. But if you're pregnant, time's up. Game's on. There's now a due date attached to your entire existence. Your life as you knew it will never be the same again.
Understanding this guy's content, I think this is a little bit of sarcasm, obviously, a little bit of humor. But so many women in the comments did not take it lightheartedly. They're like, I know, that's why I'm never going to get pregnant. I mean, it's just, again, it's instilling this level of fear that is ever present in society right now. And the comments under that video, again, were like, no responsibility, no problem. Pregnancy is the ghetto. Pregnancy is overrated. I am enough. The world didn't need another. I don't know how anyone can afford babies in this economy. This is why women everywhere should have options. Now, the comment prior to that about wanting to make sure that you're able to afford babies in this economy or not being able to, that is a valid conversation and fear that some people hold. Wanting to make sure that they are able to create a stable home, or heck, want to be able to buy a home to bring children into, which many people right now cannot do. Now, to clarify, not valid justifications for murder for those who are pregnant, but valid concerns when starting to plan for a family. So many young people cannot afford homes. Let's focus our frustrations on those conversations, but rather we just place the fear on the babies themselves. But within those negative comments, I saw ones contrasted like this. Becoming a mother saved my life. And I saw many others like that. I personally am so blessed that I do have a husband who loves me, and I have a roof over my head and a stable job that I love. And yet I would be lying if I said that there wasn't a little part of me that wasn't a bit afraid of what happens when a baby enters that picture. And so rather than living in a world that only tries to add more fears and doubts and uncertainty into women's minds, we need to encourage them. We need to uplift them and shine stories on the positivity of motherhood, especially in this new post-Roe world, especially with the defunding of Planned Parenthood imminent or happening. We need to show the world what it really means to be pro-life, to celebrate women and their babies, to create conducive environments for women to thrive while also being mothers, and to find as many ways as possible to help women who don't have the family support or the roof over their head or the stable job. We have to change the culture around motherhood. the language around motherhood. And we need as many women as possible out there doing that. To shake off the fears of the women tweeting things like I read above, or the decades-old mantras that have seeped into our minds, distorting our views of motherhood. And in this whole discussion about motherhood, there was one woman I wanted to feature who has been my resource and my sounding board as I see this kind of content online. My sister, who as of just a few days ago went from being a mother of 2 to a mother of 3. And also the one, frankly, who counseled me for hours and hours when deciding whether or not to even step into this role as a host at Daily Wire. She was the one who knew my whole life that this was a huge dream of mine. And she also knows of my dream and desire to be a mother. And so I shared with her some of the details about this whole drama unfolding on X. And here was her response that I wanted to share with you guys.
I'm so surprised that people are still saying this, but I think it comes from, for people that don't have kids, a lot of times it seems like kids would be the ultimate limiting factor. Like, surely once you have kids, that's it. Your passions are done, your career's done, your interests are over. But for those of us that have kids, I think for a lot of women, it's the ultimate clarifying experience. It narrows down the things that you want to pursue and the things that interest you, and you can go in on them with laser focus because you're doing it for your kids and because of your kids. So it really has no bearing on the success of your hobbies and career. It's just you get to do both. There's no reason you can't do both. It's funny that people still feel like you can't. You absolutely can have both. And it's such an injustice to young women to say you have to pick. You don't have to pick. The world is so big and you are so capable. Of course you don't have to pick. In fact, you might even be better off doing both and gaining that crazy, profound level of insight and clarity that having kids gives you.
And that was Abra, my new niece, just chiming in there at the end. And, I love that, again, coming from her, she's just the most incredible badass. Right now, she is laser focused on raising these 3 babies, but she has lived such an interesting life. She was in the Air Force. She's just done so much already, and she's young. She's 2 years older than me. But her life and her ability to just be this incredible woman and step into this other realm of being an incredible woman as a mother has been such an inspiration for me and an encouragement that whenever I do enter that next chapter, that it is not limiting, but it is just expanding. And I think that is a huge, important thing to teach young women. I just thought there's no better person to give that encouragement, frankly, because I am not a mom, so I can't just be confidently saying all these things, but I do have moms in my life who do say that to me often. And since I'm not yet a mom, I wanted to include motherly insight into this from a woman who is just obviously crushing it in the mom game. And I also wanted to be able to pass on that kind of sisterly advice and encouragement that my sister has so beautifully given to me my whole life on to you guys. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video if you enjoyed it. For other content, you can also follow me on Instagram and X, as well as our brand new comment section Instagram. I'll see you guys in the next episode.